Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're taking a look at the 1999 Ford Racing Puma. Now the Puma was a sport compact produced between 1997 and 2002, with this race and rally inspired version being made between 1999 and 2001. And yeah, it was only available with this metallic imperial blue paint to signify its special racing edition status. And yeah, over the standard Puma it featured racing brakes, uprated gearbox, wider track and body, front splitter, high grip bucket seats and a more powerful engine. But unfortunately, due to its high price of £23,000, which is a hell of a lot in 1999, only 500 of them were ever made, and less than half of those were actually sold directly to the public. And yeah, that's pretty much because you can get a Super Impreza which had four-wheel drive, more power, more rally pedigree, and a lot more in terms of practicality on the go for £2,000 less. So yeah, this was a bit of an extravagant vehicle to buy, especially considering, again, in the context of the competition, it was nowhere near as good. But out of the context of the competition, it's easily one of my favourite cars to be added to this game, either via DLC or the festival playlist, which is where you can get this. And yeah, several reasons for that. I really like the look of it. It's part of the new edge design that Ford implemented in the late 90s and to the early 2000s. And in fact, it's only one of two vehicles we've ever had from that period of Ford's history, with the Ford Focus RS from 2003 being the only other one that I know of from other Forza games, and which is also on this game, by the way. And yeah, it's also got plenty on the go in terms of engine power. Despite the fact it's nowhere near as powerful as they planned, because they did plan a turbo version, this still has 153 horsepower and 119 pounds-feet of torque from a 1.7 litre inline-4 engine. They were planning a turbo version, like I said, which would have uprated that to 180 horsepower, but due to spiralling costs they had to cancel that, and it's no surprise, selling it already at 23 grand naturally aspirated. I imagine it would have been a lot more than that with a turbocharger. But yeah, that's still plenty of power, especially considering when it only weighs 2,588 pounds, which is very little in the way of weight, especially when you consider it's got a decent amount of equipment, a nice interior, plenty of space for the front and rear passengers, and also a decent sized boot, though obviously the entrance to the boot is quite narrow and there is quite a high sill there, so yeah, lifting heavy bags or anything you want to put in there that's heavy would be a bit of a struggle. But yeah, it's decent size enough as it is. And yeah, overall, like I said, I really do like the looks and the proportions. Overall, it's a really rather handsome looking vehicle, and yeah, far better looking than other sport compacts from the same period. But yeah, the best thing about this car is how it drives, so let's get out there and see what it can do. So yeah, even though it doesn't have the planned turbocharger on it, which would have obviously given it more power and more speed and acceleration, I have to say I really do like the sound of this engine as it is, so maybe the turbocharged version would have been worse in terms of engine noise. But yeah, I really rather like the noise that this car has going on, so I'll let you hear it for a little bit, because it is a glorious sound.
You have arrived at your destination.
So yeah, the sound of this car is better than the standard version because it had a revised exhaust system, which is partly why it's got more power than the similarly the same size engine of a normal Puma, but because it's got the new exhaust system, better cams, better air intake, it's yeah, got 30 extra horsepower over that standard Puma with even the same sized engine, and a lot more than the lower sized engine, which only had 90 horsepower. And yeah, as a result, acceleration is really rather decent, 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds, 0 to 100 in 20.983 seconds, and it will go into a top speed of 135 miles an hour. So yeah, top speed is really rather nice for a car of this period, especially for something with less than 200 horsepower from the late 90s, and yeah, that 0 to 60 time is really rather reasonable. To put it into context, that's the exact same time as a Ferrari Dino, which is the last car that we reviewed on this channel, and it's actually even faster to 100 than that Dino as well, which just goes to show how useless that car is with yeah, in plenty of ways. But yeah, it's not just the power and the torque that it's got going on for it in terms of acceleration, but yeah, it's really rather good in terms of handling. It's really nimble because it doesn't weigh all that much, and yeah, the brakes can offer up 1.1 G in braking from, I think they said, from 60 miles an hour. So yeah, it stops incredibly quickly for a car of this type. Now granted, like I said, in the context of the time that it was sold, £23,000 is a hell of a lot of money for this car. But on here, on this game, yeah, love it, and I really do like the fact that we finally had a Puma on this game, because yeah, it's been one of those cars that I've longed to try out, especially since Top Gear at the time gave it their Car of the Year award, back when Clarkson was with Tiffany Dell and the rest of the team, and yeah, I do love it. It's a cracking car. I wish we had more cars from Ford from this period, especially European Fords, because we have plenty of American Fords from the 90s and early 2000s, but not many from the European division, unfortunately, which is a shame. But yeah, it's a great cracking car, this, and yeah, you can get it by just doing a free race championship on the current festival playlist, and yeah, you basically just racing Jaguars, because because this is also a cat, as to put it in terms, because it's a Puma, so that's why it's I think it's called Cool for Cats, which is a really rather nice name for a play on words, in fact, because yeah, everyone knows the term Cool for Cats. But yeah, it's a cracking vehicle, and yeah, you really got to try it out, especially if you're into your small, lightweight coupes that might not have the most amount of power in the world, but they make up for that through lack of weight, good looks, and yeah, fun driving abilities. So yeah, go out there and try and get it and try it out for yourselves, and tell me what you think about it. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.